Well, all right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Citizens of YouTube, Pastor Dowell here. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and discuss this Israeli-Hamas conflict. And believe you me, it's really kind of frustrating to me because, whenever I talk about something, I put out a lot of information. And then the majority of the time when I put out information, I'll drop certain lines in hoping that you will go back and do your own due diligence and your own investigation rather than just picking and choosing and taking a side ignorantly and not having concrete evidence sitting in front of you. Because I already know how the quote-unquote American public has been deceived concerning what's going on over there in Israel. You know what I mean? The propaganda is just literally off the chain. So you're not going to get the truth from mainstream news media. You damn sure ain't going to get the truth from the United States of America government. You can forget that. And there's so many different opinions, but if I come to you with concrete facts, then all that is left is for you to investigate. Now, you can choose to disagree or agree. Totally irrelevant. But until you educate yourself, just like I tell people all over and over again, I know how I sound when I'm speaking to a people who have had their hearts and their mind conditioned to believe in fairy tales and lies. I'm under no illusion whatsoever at all that whenever I tell you truth, that people, I don't make the assumption that people are going to automatically believe it, because most people are going to just sit there and just believe information is put to them without researching and seeing if it's facts or not. And just like you have been deceived in religion, you're definitely being deceived politically. You're being deceived socially. You've been deceived economically. All of it is fabricated lies. And we've become so accustomed and so used to lies that when the truth comes, it's so strange that people automatically reject it. Automatically reject it because it makes no sense because of the conditioning of the minds for so long has been trained to believe in fairy tales and lies. So I'm going to try to make an attempt here this morning again. Now, in order for everybody to comprehend, and I'm going to talk about the conflict the way it's going today too, but in order for everybody to comprehend what's going on today, you've got to go back to 1948. When you go back to 1948, it will give you a picture of what's going on today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit just a few historical reference points and truth for you to do your own due diligence. I mean, after all, you have the information highway sitting right here in front of you. So that you'll comprehend and understand when somebody's fighting against Pastor Dowell, when I'm giving out all this truth, all this evidence, all these facts right here, you're going to find out they're not fighting against me, but they're fighting against truth. It's just that here in America, under this propaganda machine, they've got the people's minds conditioned in such a way for you to accept lies and believe it as gospel truth, that when the truth comes, and this is the second time around, that it seems like fiction. Then ignorantly you find yourself passionately defending lies. So in 1948, there was this thing called the Balfour Agreement. The League of Nations. They actually took these people, these Jews, and I'm going to add Zionist Jews, and they put them in the land of Palestine. Now, David Ben-Gurion made a declaration. Now, mind you, this is a Zionist movement. This is political Israel. They put them in the land of Israel, political Israel, and they are identified as Israelis. Where's it at? Where's it at real quick? I got a bunch of them. Maybe pull one right here. Look. Don't sit up there and be deceived that when you're on the news or in some of these Christian platforms, that because these people live in the land of Israel or the land of Ham, your deception is when you start making an association with them, with the people of this book. That's your first and biggest mistake. And that's what Christianity, that's what Messianic Jews, that's what a lot of people who don't understand and comprehend is all messed up about. And many of you are messed up. And so when you're saying, well, they're fighting against God's chosen people. Well, this book right here in the prophets tells you the prophecies of what would happen. Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus the Christ. He told you clearly what was going to take place with Israel or the Yehudim after his departure. And what the problem is that people, because they're making an association, well, in the land of Israel, it's got to be the people of Israel, so they got to be Yah's chosen people. Wrong, wrong, and wrong again. This is Zionism. These people are Israelis. They have no genetic link whatsoever at all with Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob, Moses, or they have no association whatsoever at all with Moshe or Moses, who led the Israelites out of the land of Mizraim called Egypt. Now listen to me. Listen to me. Also, the law, Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy. It never made a covenant with Jews. As a matter of fact, that word called Jew is never even mentioned in the whole of Torah. It didn't come about until about, I think it's 2 Kings. So when you look at this thing, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have 11 books that are already mentioned. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel. Then you get into Kings. Before the word Jews even appear in the book. Then who are they before they were mentioned in this book? And who are they making reference to? And what did the translators do when they decide to insert this particular word in the book? Because Israel has always been known as the house of Israel and the house of Judah. And they become a divided house. I said all that to say this. You got America, so-called Judeo-Christianity. That's an oxymoron. It truly is. It's illogical. It makes no sense whatsoever at all. That's like calling the melanated people in America African Americans. That's an oxymoron too. Them are two diametrically opposed statements right there. Why is everybody else in America considered Americans while they call the white people European Americans? Now listen, when I start making these hard line statements, you need to realize that I am not in any way, shape, fashion, or form drawing anything concerning the way your mind has been conditioned as far as racism. What I'm doing is dealing with truth. I'm just telling you the truth because you need these identifying markers to understand and comprehend what the hell is going on. So in 1948, the Balfour Agreement, they moved all these Jews, now known as Israelis, and David Ben-Gurion, and the Zionists, made a declaration on that day in 1948, and then immediately Egypt comes in and Lebanon and Syria starts to fight against these people. And then the United States came in and brokers a truce with these people right here. And as they begin to broker truth and stuff, the United States and Great Britain, they actually honored the treaty about not funneling weapons to either side, mainly to the Egyptians and everybody else. But at the same time, the Israelis was loading up on weapons. Next thing you know, they brokered the truth. They're fighting against Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, and all these other countries. And let me say this too. Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Damascus, Samaria, Iraq, Iran. Watch this. And old Israel. Watch this. All are brown people. brown people. And then you wonder why all this hell and chaos is going on, because that now all of a sudden you got white people in the East, in this desert land, in this land, that's passing themselves off, playing off, and really what it is, it's an occupation. These people come and occupy this land just like the Europeans did America. And anytime an occupier comes in and then settles on that land, somebody got to die. Look at American history. They ran blitzkrieg across this country over here called Turtle Island. All right? Let me ignore that one for a second. They ran blitzkrieg over this thing called Turtle Island, right? United States of America. They killed the indigenous people of the land, and now the majority of America consists of white folks. Now, there are a few melanated folks, there are a few brown folks that are here in this land. Sure it is. And every other culture nowadays, especially since the border's open. Well, then you go up, and I'm going to fast forward and jump real quick, to 1967, the Six-Day War. That's why you keep hearing me talk about Gabriel Nasser, at the time, who was the prime minister of Egypt. He had made a statement, and he said, "We cannot accept you Zionist Israelis as the people of the Holy Book or the Scriptures or Yehudims. How can you leave here black and come back white?" I mean, the prophet Isaiah said that Jacob's face would never wax pale. Now, they got all of Christianity, all the whole world believing that all the people in this book right here were all Laban or white. It's just off the chain. What has that got to do with anything, Pastor Dowell? It's got everything to do with it. Because now you got people masquerading around, posing themselves, calling themselves something that they are not. And the whole world is bitten of the fruit of lies and under the strong delusion. Now we bring it all the way up till today. Because remember, in that 6-day war, it took them 6 days to beat Egypt, Lebanon, and Syria. 6 days. Zionist Israel, Israelis did. And they expanded all the territories. Just within 19 years, they occupied the majority of that land. Within 19 years. With the help of the United States and Great Britain. You don't think that's remarkable? So now here we are today. Nobody's telling you about how many Palestinians have been killed unjustly. Now, Rabbi Weiss, who's definitely against the occupation of Israel and the Zionist movement, he's tried to shout it to the rooftop, but what do? They demonize him. Christianity don't want to hear it, because how can you be in a religion that is serving other gods? And how can you expect any truth to come from a religion that is the largest religion in the world, which I keep telling you, Satan has done a job. Christianity is Satan's religion. Because what they do is they do the same thing. Try to use the book, get rid of the people who are scattered throughout this diaspora as if they don't exist. They practice replacement theology, and now you're going to have a bunch of people that ain't the people of the book, never have been the people of the book, and have no genetic link with the people of the book. All of a sudden, they're supposed to teach you, the people of the book, what the book says? Man, look, as the old saying go, I may be born at night, but it wasn't last night. And so you got a religion up here that believes in serving other gods, Christianity, sun god Ra, Sunday rest, Sunday worship, Easter, another fabricated Babylonian mystery religion lie. So, you got Sunday, Easter, Christmas, Halloween. Look at America. Look at this stuff. Look at this mess right here, quagmire mess. And we all are supposed to sit here and believe that Jesus, they even told a lie about even the manger scene of Jesus. I tell you, man, the whole thing, fairy tales and fabricated lies, and you people think you're going to the kingdom when the book of Revelation says that all liars will have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. What other day? I was speaking with Pastor Muir, and I told him, I said, well, hey, this thing just just started, but I tell you what, I got my eyes on. And Pastor Muir, he can verify this too. He make a comment down there, Pastor. He can verify this, that I said to him, I said, oh, this thing has just started right here. I said, if Hezbollah comes into this war from the north, I said, then you'll know that the Arabs in their jihad are all confederate and gathered together, and they are using this as their last hurrah. They're all in then. And sure enough, give it a few days, Israel comes in with their rockets, their tanks, and everything. They start bombing back Hamas. Hamas is literally raising hell, raping, ravishing, killing, stabbing, robbing, doing everything. And Israel is doing the same thing and has been doing it ever since the occupation and settlement in that land. So you got a bunch of Europeans that live in this land that are masquerading as the people that ain't the people. And that's the reason why this conflict is. Because them people, unlike the indigenous people of this land who have become a bunch of drunks on reservations, they still got fight in them. And they don't accept these people as the people of this land, especially with them trying to occupy the whole entire territory, which they've done a successful job in doing. And now they're fighting. And they say, man, you know what? We declaring jihad. It's better for us to either die to try to recover our land, our homeland, than to sit here and continue to keep putting up all this tyranny that you never ever hear the bias reporting. You never ever hear. You never ever hear the truth of reporting because it's so biased by the American news media and any other BBC and any other outlet out there that's so-called allegedly telling you the truth. You know, we report, you decide. Yeah, but guess who gets to decide who's reporting in order for you to try to make a decision on? They do. It is a mess. So now we got Hezbollah that's done come in from the north. Man, this is getting ready to get ugly, real ugly. Because the way it's shaping up now, America has no choice but to go over there and intervene. I wouldn't doubt if they don't have Special Forces, Delta, the SEAL teams, the Marine Raiders, all ready to go. If they're not there right now with boots on the ground. They already got warships off of the coast right there. Man, this thing, listen, you think Ukraine is something. By the way, whatever happened to Ukraine? You still got the president begging for money for everybody. And I told you it was going to be an ass heap before it got started. And that's what the Israelis plan on doing to Gaza. And they're planning on making all of the Palestinians, look, they are not going to survive this thing. It's going to be ugly. They cut off the water, cut off the food, cut off all the supplies. There's nothing but death, destruction, and 100% total carnage. Well, Pastor Dowell, you don't have all the information. I don't need all the information. I just understand war. I understand it very well. As a former paratrooper of the United States of America, you better believe I understand war. I get it. And war is hell. And this is hell. And this is extremely bad. This is bad business. It really is. And so we're getting ready to watch that country get leveled over there. And this is the last hoorah for both sides. Somebody is going to win and somebody is going to lose bad. So much so that the winner of this is going to claim all the territory of the land and the loser is just going to be gone, annihilated. We're talking about, they are literally talking about wiping out seed, children that comes from the fathers of this. It is bad. So listen, I'll do my part to try to help you fill in the blanks, but I'm not going to continue to keep coming on here and try to explain to a bunch of people who only are used to believing whatever they see to come across that one-eyed monster called the TV, now the internet, when you have no historical reference or truth to back anything up on. Most of you need the baptism of the Holy Spirit. Most of you, the majority of you that talk about stuff like this, you ain't got the Holy Spirit. You have never been filled with the baptism of the Holy Spirit, and that's why it's hard for you to comprehend and understand what's going on. So let's see what takes place. Let's see exactly what is going to take place with all of this. Because this is going to be something else. This is literally going to be something, it's bad. I hate the fact that innocent civilians, listen to me, on both sides that have not even a dog in the race. I hate the fact that innocent civilians on both sides and little children are dying and suffering at the hands of a bunch of Pratt maniacs. I would tell you this, though. It sure does give you part and parcel for us cause to make sure you got your life in order. Because you all better realize this. We ain't here for too long. But the way you live, the way you believe, you better make sure it's truth. You better make sure it's true. You better make sure you have the right eternal that you are serving and worshiping. Because if not, you're going to have hell to pay.